r/askreddit, do you consider hitting a child to punish them abusive? Why not? Yes, definitely it can have very bad side effects on child's mental health. My mom hit me once when I was about 7. I was about to put my hand into a boiling vat of chemicals. She hit me with the water hose so hard that it left a huge mark on my leg. Much better than basically melting my hand and being disabled. I think there is a time and place for everything. She later said she was sorry but was so concerned that she could not think. Why was a 7-year-old around a boiling vat of chemicals, lol? I think hitting your kid is only okay if it's an emergency response to trying to save your kid from something dangerous. Anything else is either lazy parenting or, in more extreme cases, abuse. You do what it takes to make a situation safe, but you don't parent while there is danger, you protect. There's not a situation where physical discipline would make a situation safer. Being a spoiled brat as an adult is very dangerous. I never did historically, as I grew up receiving the occasional wooden spoon at the hands of my European grandparents and don't have any residual trauma. However, I was having a conversation with a colleague who advised, physically punishing children teaches them 1, it's acceptable to hit, and 2, it's acceptable to be hit. That completely changed my perspective moving forward. When my offspring start to act unruly, I just pick them up by my beak and toss them out of the nest. I have 2 other, stronger offspring that I need to care for, and finding food in these trying times can really make a struggling stork do crazy things. 100% against. I can't imagine what would go through a parent's head to hit someone who is half their size and hasn't fully developed or learned rules. Even older kids, the incentive that hitting creates is bad. Kids who get hit, hide the activity. I'd rather my kids be able to be open about what they're doing than hide it from me. Pain compliance. And AMP, #X200B. What am I, a cop? My mom got told by her friend's mom. Grab him by the short hair behind his ears. That will make him listen. From then on, anytime my mom got upset at me, she grabbed those short hairs. To this day, as a grown adult, when I get increased anxiety, I have a compulsion to put my hands over my head behind my ears. Don't hurt your kids, people. Here's your badge, pistol, assault rifle, shotgun, grenades, tank, and helpful color chart so you know which minorities you can freely abuse this week. Obviously, if your kid is too young to be reasoned with, they won't understand why they're being hit. If they are old enough to be reasoned with, then reason with them. There's never an excuse for hitting your kids. Yep, exactly, when they are older, hitting definitely will not work anymore. Yes, if hitting your wife is abuse, hitting your kids is abuse. Stop hitting your kids. Agreed, hit other people's kids instead. I feel that striking a child as a matter of corporal punishment to be counterproductive. With that said, I do not believe that all forms of physical intervention are cruel or unjust. If a child were to reach for a venomous plant, would it be imprudent to whip the hand than to allow them to touch and die or require serious medical intervention? Teaching your kids to use violence to solve problems. What could possibly go wrong? It's abusive and lazy. Yes. It's not our prerogative to hit a child. We don't own our children. We're there to guide and support our children until they are old enough to make responsible life choices. Hitting a child isn't anything to do with punishment, it's to release our own frustration of a choice they've made that we disagree with. My mom hit me twice, and I'll remember this all my life. She was a good mom, those were weak moments for her. But I'll always remember. Don't hit your kids. Same. And they wonder why I have problems with them touching/hugging me. My stepdad used to beat us with belts and shoes and even more extreme stuff. I vowed never to hit my kids because it is not punishment, it is abuse, period. I now have 2 extremely kind and well-adjusted young adult children that I never hit in anger or as a punishment. Hitting child is a breach of trust and just plain wrong. I think it was a random side note on an episode of The Young Turks. The guy said he stopped using corporal punishment on his children, because it was about releasing his anger more than teaching them something. I didn't have children at the time, but it really made sense to me and I've never hit mine. No, I do not consider hitting a child acceptable in any form. Furthermore, it is also quite illegal in my country, and have been for the last 25 years. I remember actually getting taught my rights in school, about how it is not acceptable for parents to hit or harm their children. It's abuse. Would it be okay for one spouse to hit another every time they did something wrong? No. Didn't spank my kids. When they did something wrong, we talked and I explained to them why it wasn't okay. I taught them to use their brain, not to fear me. Yes, it's abuse. You're an adult, they're a child, why would hitting them not be abuse? There's no proof to show that hitting them works as punishment, and there's lots of proof to show it can do a lot of harm to them mentally. No child should be living their life afraid that if they do something wrong, one of the people they're meant to be able to rely on and trust fully, will assault them. Also, it's not exactly a great thing to teach your children someone does something you don't want them to, hit them. Put it this way, how do you think it will pan out if I hit you until you agree with my position on this matter? If you have to turn to violence on a child to get your point across, then you're a weak, simple-minded person who deserves no pity. Physically harming someone to control their behavior is like the absolute most basic definition of abuse. Abusive or not, it's ineffective and has lasting negative effects on the child. Would doing it to an adult put you in legal trouble? So you did it to a weaker being who's less able to defend itself. How do you feel about it, child beater? Hurt people hurt people. Yes. Teach your children better ways of dealing with anger and disappointment than using violence. It is never okay to hit a child. My grandparents used to. I'd be closed fist punched in the face and pushed down. I don't hold a grudge though. I was a pretty shitty kid, lol. I won't do that to my child though. It would make her cry. And when she cries it makes me really sad. When she got shots as a baby I teared up when she cried. I'm a sensitive 6 feet 200 pounds guy, I guess, lol. You really can't blame yourself. Shitty kids are born out of guardians that punch them in the face, not the other way around. Congrats on breaking the cycle. OMG, this is so sad. Well, if you hit an adult as punishment, it's assault. Why is it different for children? Exactly. I don't want my son to think that hitting is an okay level of escalation in an argument. Self-defense only. Mom used to hit me as a kid. Hands, ass, cheek, you name it. I would like to think it was abuse and not parenting she had to stop because it wasn't working. Well, at least yours stopped when they noticed it didn't work. Mine just thought they weren't doing it often enough apparently.